Hello everyone, Ife Codes here. Welcome to this episode of the Build TikTok like app from scratch. So in today's episode, we are now going to, or should I say, finally going to talk about the index page. That is the how do I put it? The front end part of your application. So this is where your videos get displayed. Before then, I can remember I gave us an assignment or a homework on this. Where is it again? Remember, this is test.html, the one we did last. It's just kind of a boilerplate. So, and where is it? Okay, uploads.php. Okay, I remember I gave us an assignment, which is what happens when you upload the video. That is when you upload a video, then it should take you to the index page. Then you should be able to extract this data and display it on how do I put it, on the index page. I'm just going to brush over it because I want this video to be as short as possible. All right, so on the index.php, where we are going to should I say, I'm going to show you the homework or the solution. So let me just hit this one over here. All right, so what do we have here? This is a opening tag of the PHP and the closing tag. So it says retrieve the data from the get parameters. Okay, because in the uploads.php, remember we are supposed to where is it again? Okay, successfully. So we are supposed to be sent to the index.php file or the index.php page, okay, which is index page here, okay, the home page. Well, what do we do now? So over here we say if is set, just as I have explained earlier. So if get is succ, then whatever is gotten here would, after the HTML special class must have done its job, then it will be stored inside this variable we created here called success message. Then echo div class, this is HTML. I'm just brushing over it, okay? You can refer to the other video to get exactly what this video is all about. What this part is all about. I'm just kind of trying to solve this problem immediately, or to show you how I did it. Okay, you are free to do it on your own way, in your own way. So then to echo this thing, okay, this is the HTML part. Then this is the variable. Of course, as you can see, we are able to mix variables with strings. All right, so let me save it. Let's see what we have. There's nothing here. Okay, so what I have to do now is to go to to upload videos and see what it's going to do. All right, so let's do that immediately. So let me do some uploading right now. All right, so this is the video. I have chosen the video. This is the video title. So let me click upload and see what is going to is going to happen. All right, it says video uploaded successfully. Okay, so this corresponds to mind this X here. Okay, so this corresponds to what we have here. You see, success message, then span class, close button, ID, close button, and so forth and so on. Okay, so all these ones now corresponds to that X you see there, or I highlighted over there. So now let's move over straight to the, what's it called again, please? To the JavaScript and CSS, okay? Because it looks so horrible right now. So now the success, this is success, okay? This is div class is success. The class name is success, which is what is here, okay? The class name is success. Then we also have the class name of the close button, which is close btn. All right, so success and close btn. So what do we have here? Success h4, that is the text. Then the close button itself. Okay, so the background, then is the position, absolute, transform is translate x, want to put it in the center. Then the z index or z index if you are in the US. Padding right, the how do I put it, the right position, the position in on the right. Then you have the success h4, the text align the center. Then all of this one, the cursor is pointer. This is for the close button, okay? Cursor is pointer. All this, I suppose, I'm sure you're supposed to know all these things by now. All right. So the user select is none. So which means we don't want it to start selecting text. So let me save it. Let's quickly go to the home page and see. Now let me refresh. All right. So you see, this is what we have. But as you can see, so how I did this is that if you upload successfully, then it will show this little button here. And then you're supposed to, or should I say this, is it a module or something? Module. Then you click this X, then it will close, it will remove this thing here. All right, using CSS. We can also, I think we can also do it using JavaScript, but I just want to keep things simple. So let's just do it using CSS. But if it were in, let's say, a production application, I will use JavaScript to remove it entirely. Though CSS does a good job also. So let's continue. So what I have to do next is to first of all come over here and type scripts. All right. So here are the codes. This one, we first of all get the element by ID, close button. All right. We are getting the element by that X here. So where is it? It says close button. Then the other one, the div itself, we'll call it suc div. This is the main div itself. All right. So we get both of them, then store them inside their variable, or this time around constants. So this one is stored inside the close button or close btn constant. Then this other one, the second one, the main div itself, is put inside this. We store it inside this center div. All right. Then the next thing we have to do now is to add an event listener to the close button. So simply when we click here, so we should do some. We are going to add an event listener of click. Now when you click it, what happens? So this is where this function comes into play. So I'm saying I'm doing this for those who do not understand what this thing is all about. So the function will the function will simply take this, this center div here. Then we'll say dot style dot display none. Okay, so what we are simply doing is display none. Once you click this, what is it called? Wait, please. Once you click this X here, all of these things will be changed to display none. So that div plus whatever is inside the div, all of them will be removed entirely. Okay, so let me save it. Now let me quickly go over there and test it. All right, so let's see if it will go. All right, you see it is gone. So you see, if I refresh, it comes back again. So this is the reason why I think the best thing to do is to use JavaScript to remove it entirely. But anyway, well, I think it will still come back anyway. It's still the same thing, but anyway, this is not really a problem. Now we have to how do I put this now? Okay, you remember the test.html we did last time. Okay, I told us that in this episode, or in this video, we are going to work with what we have already done in the past. So for example, we are going to be harvesting all of these how do I put it, CSS codes. Okay, because basically they are all the same thing. Okay, they are basically all the same thing. So all I have to do now is just to copy all of this style, then put it on the other side. Okay, so where is it? Okay, style. Okay, just copy it, then move over to index.php, then go to the style. Let's go to the top. Okay, excuse me, please. I made a silly mistake. Let me correct it. I was not supposed to copy style, okay? The style tags, I was not supposed to copy them. So let me go back there. Let me, let me do it again, please. I am sorry. You might say I'm wasting time, but please bear with me. So let me go down till, all right, where it stops. So copy, then move over to index.php, then go down a little bit, then paste it. All right. In this index.php, we are going to reuse all the, how do I put it, all the codes, everything. They are all the same thing, just that this one is, we're going to do everything here using Java. We are going to do the HTML part, but instead of doing it directly as we did in the last video, we're going to do it using JavaScript. So let me just save this and see what we have. Okay, I go to the home page. All right. So this is what we have. It says video uploaded successfully. All right. So something has broken. Something is broken. Okay, nothing is broken. It's just the text is white. Anyway, we don't need this. Okay, let's take it off. We don't need this one. So this is the index page. So just delete it in case you have it in your on your own side. So now we are done with this. Okay, now we are done with this. So if I click here, it goes away. So now we are done with all of this thing. So let's go straight to what we are doing. Okay, I mean what we are here for. We have already spent so much time already. All right, before we start anything, we have to. Okay, let's go straight to scripts. Wait, first of all. So we have to go to test.html, then copy this div, this particular div here. Just copy everything in it quickly. Okay, just copy everything. Then go over to index.php. Then come over here below. Wait, let me fix this thing. Then below the PHP tags, just paste it. All right. So we don't need any of these things because we are going to be doing this same thing, but this time around we are going to use JavaScript. So just delete them. This one, you delete them also. All right. So basically, we should only have this. Okay, this div with an ID of video wrapper, class name of video -wrapper. All right. So that's basically what this is the only HTML we are going to be creating today directly. So let's continue. Or first of all, before we are able to do any of these things, we must get we must initialize some variables. One of the variables we are going to initialize is the variable where we are going to get this thing, to target this this element here using JavaScript, just as we have done with this. So let me get it and put it on the screen immediately. So let me. Okay. All right. So we are simply going to initialize. We are going to initialize by declaring some global variables. Okay. So these are global variables because it will make it easier for us to have access to them later on. So offsets, I've already talked about that in this fetch videos.php. Limits, same. Okay, so it simply tracks the number of videos loaded for pagination, maybe for pagination or any other thing. Okay, then the other one is how do I put it? The const limits. So this is another variable, but it's constant this time around. 2. So number of videos we are getting per request. Then the is loading. Let is loading be false. Why do we need this one? So we need it because we want to have a way to prevent the page from loading multiple, doing multiple fetch requests. For example, as you're scrolling, let's say you're scrolling too fast, which it simply means that it's going to send multiple requests and it might break the application. Then video buffer is simply an array where we store the videos that we have fetched from the fetch videos.php has gotten from the server. So we store it inside this array called video buffer. Then the wrapper, this is for this one, okay? So we are getting it using ID video wrapper. All right. So let is smoothed be true. Where else did we find this? This is here. Simply you go to video, preload, metadata. It says muted. So this is how it is done using JavaScript. Okay. But first of all, we are going to do it by using a variable. Later on, we'll make use of it. Okay, so let's continue right away. So the next thing we are going to do is to create a video element using JavaScript. Okay, for that we will need a function, and the function says we call that function create video container, video data. Okay, this video data is a variable. So you know, as in JavaScript and PHP, you can as you're creating the function, you can also create the variable that it will work with. Okay, so any data that we might use in that function, we immediately create the how do I put it, the variable in it. Okay, so let's continue. We are now going to create these things. We're not going to, what we are doing right now is creating this where is it, video. This is what we are doing now. Let me close this thing. So we are creating this one. This is what we are doing. This particular one now. This is what we are going to create using DOM manipulation or in JavaScript. All right. So first of all, we create a constant and call that constant container, and then say document.create elements. We are creating, what element are we creating? A div element. Then store it inside this constant called container. Okay, we are creating a div element. All right. Now the next thing we have to do now is, after creating the div element, what do? We now add the we add the class name. So how it is done in JavaScript is class list.add video container. Okay, so this container, this div here, we store it inside this const called container. Then we add the class name to it. So basically, what we have done here is we've created this. Earlier I said we are creating the video. No, we first of all create the container that will contain the video before we create the video element. Please excuse me, please, I was too fast. So we created the div element. Now we added the class name to it, which is video container. All right. Okay. Now, where is video container? Where is it? Look at it here. In case you don't remember, look at it here. This is the class. Okay. So now let's go down. Now we are going to create the video element itself. To do that, we say document.create element video. Okay, what element are we creating? Video element. Then store it is inside this constant called video. Okay, so let's continue. So what are all these things? Video.preload metadata, video.source, video data.url. So this one is coming from here. Let me bring it. It's coming from the fetch videos.php. Okay, it's coming from our API. So that's why we have the what's it called? This thing called video data.url. So it sets the video source from the JSON data that is coming from here, from this API. Okay, so video.plays inline true, video.muted, then is muted. So look at it here. Is muted is true. So I wouldn't just put true here because it's to make it a little bit complicated later. So we'll just make that's why I made a variable special for it up here. Now video.loop is true. So if you are observant, you see that we have already done this type of thing before. So let me show you where we did it. Now this is the video element. Okay, here is the preload, metadata, source, place in line, muted, loop. Okay, loop. Now let's go back to this file, index.php file. So here it is, preload, metadata, source. Here it is, place in line, true, muted is muted, which is true here. Then loop, true. Simple. Okay. All right. So let's continue immediately, please. So the next thing is video.dataset. I didn't do this one. I didn't do this one last time because I didn't think it would be necessary. You know, I didn't consider it necessary. But this time around, we are going to do it. In fact, I will explain what is going on here. Video.dataset.id. What does .id. Then this is video data.id. This is the OR operator. That's kind of saying OR math.random to string and blah 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 blah. Okay. So what this one does is to assign a unique ID to the video. Okay. So that will enable our application to know what video is currently playing, what video is currently not playing, which one is in view, which one is not in view. So that can only happen if we assign special data to each of them. So the video data is coming from the ID. Remember, the ID is coming from the simple API. But if there is none, for example, let's say it is the first video, then it will say or math, it will generate a random number. Okay, so all of these things are a kind of random text or random number. Okay, that's what all of this math, not random to string and whatever, just to generate something randomly. Okay, and then store it here. So but this video.dataset, how can we do it, or how do you understand it? So I think I will explain it better in HTML. So it's simply like, okay, for example, this video now, this video element now, you simply go here, then you type, oh, excuse me please, you type that. This is how it's done in HTML. You say data, okay, data, and the data, or we are going to say data ID. You can, first of all, you use data. Okay, you use the data, but after data, you can then whatever you want to type there, it's completely up to you. So say data ID is, you can write anything, let's say like ABC 1 2 3. All right, so this gives it a unique ID to these elements, so that the application will know which one is handling, and you know, those kind of stuff. All right, so now we are done with this one. Let's move on immediately by creating, focusing now on the title. Okay, we are done with this one, video elements. Now we are focusing on video title. Okay, so that is what we are going to do. So we first of all, we create the div for the title, then we then add the style and the class name for the title, then the title content, the content of the title, which is text content, will be video data dot title. So this one will be coming from the JSON data that will be coming from how do I put it, the API. Okay, so all of what you see here now corresponds to this one, corresponds to video title. Then this is the text content. So the text content, as I said earlier, will be coming from how do I put it, the API. So don't forget that, please. So let's continue. Now we are done with the title, the video title. Now let's focus on the button. Okay, the button element with the class name of sound toggle. Then we also have this span class. This span element with the class name of sound icon, sound off. Okay, or the class names. So sound icon, sound off, sound off. So let's do that immediately. Now, first of all, make a constant. We call it sound toggle. which we in it, or will be assigned to it, will be assigned this code here. So we are creating an element called button. So document.create element button. Okay. We add the we add the class name just as we have done earlier. Now we create the span. That is this one, the span element. So create elements span and store it inside sound icon. This constant called sound icon. So and add the class name, or yeah, add the class name. So sound icon dot class list dot add sound icon. Okay. If you go back here, you see it has a second. We put a second. How do I put it? A second class name here, but over here we have this one, sound off, sound on. Okay. So what is going on here is simply this is a short and concise way of writing this. Instead of saying if instead of using the if and then statements or conditions, we simply say is muted. This question mark here is replaces the if. Okay, so we are kind of asking, is it muted or not? So if it is muted, sound off. If it is not muted, sound on. Okay, remember here we put only sound off for clarity, but over here we're now using JavaScript to check if it is muted or not. So depending on if you click it, it will be muted, or if you click it, it will be unmuted. So this question mark here simply replaces if. So please don't get it confused. Okay, there's no need of going all the way of writing if this, then if, then this, then you write another if again. It's just going to be too long. This is a simple and, should I say, one of the best things about PHP. It has really gone very far. So let's continue. Okay, so for us to continue, we are going to do is by, let's go over here. Now, as you can see, this button class, this button element with this class name of sound toggle, this span element is inside of it. So which means the button element is the parent element of span, this span element. In other words, the span element is the child element of the button element. Okay, so we have created the button and we have created the span, but how do we then do it? How do we handle the next thing now? So because right now the sound how do I put it, the span is just floating around. Okay, this span now, which is sound icon, is just floating around. So what do we do? What we'll do is simple. Say the sound toggle, which is the button. Okay, remember we created the button here and put it inside this sound toggle. So the sound toggle dot append child. So we are simply appending this child element to it. So append child, what are we appending to it? Sound icon. So this is how we put this thing now is the same thing as what we have done here. Okay, it's just exactly the same thing. All right, apart from this sound of class name that will work depending on whether you're clicking or not, whether it's submitted or not. All right, so we are done with this one. So the next thing we have to do now is to add a click handler for the sound. Okay, the how do I put it, the sound icon. Okay, so remember this thing here. So we now have to add a click handler. Say if you click it, what is going to happen? So that's what we are going to do next. So we'll simply go to sound toggle, then add an event listener to it. So what event are we listening for? It is click events. Okay, just as we did for the other thing we did earlier. So we are listening for the click element. So once there is a click, this function will run, but the function will not run if there is no code in it. Okay, so the first thing we have to do is to take this is muted Remember, we are clicking. Okay, once you click, then is muted will then become not is muted. So which means is muted will become kind of false. Okay, remember, we put is muted here true. Then here we are now transforming it to false. Okay, so this not here is kind of reversing. We have done this thing before. Okay, so you don't need to it doesn't need to be new to you. Okay, so what other things are we doing? We are going to select every video available, all the videos available. We are going to select all of them. That's why I said wrapper.query selector all. Okay, so every video inside this video wrapper will be selected. That is to say, all these videos, this, for example, like now there are only 2 videos here, so these 2 videos will be selected. Okay, then stored inside this constant called videos. So after they are all selected, what next happens? So we go through each of the videos. For example, here we say videos dot for each. So for each of the videos, which will give us video, what I prefer to use v here instead of video. Okay, please don't get it confused. So v here represents each video. That is to say, each video. Let's say there are 100 videos. So each of the 100 videos, okay, which is this v here. Then we access the muted parameter. Okay, we access this one. Where is it? Sorry, muted. This parameter here. Okay, remember we've already done it here. Where is it? Muted. Okay, the muted parameter, and set it to is muted. Okay, so each of these videos we are going to set their we are going to set all of them to is mute. We are going to kind of update the mute button. Okay, then after that one, where we are going to what's it called, the sound icon too, we are going to update whatever is going on there. So sound icon, the class list dot toggle. Okay, the class list dot toggle sound on. Okay, we are now going to add, remember toggle, you know what toggle does, off and on. So remember here also, okay, off and on. So either this or this one, either this or that. So if it is toggled on, so sound will be on, then not is muted. So is muted becomes false. Okay, remember, let's go up here. This is the how do I put it? The CSS code for sound on, and this is the CSS code for sound off. So these are kind of images. Okay, so to just simply change or swap the images. So sound on, you see the mute button is the speaker button will be, that speaker, it will be visible. Then if it is sound off, what you get is the speaker being cancelled. Okay, now if it is toggled off, okay, what is going to happen? Remember, toggling means to switch off or on. Okay, so if it is toggled on, you get the sound icon, and the muted will be put to false, or not is muted. Then if it's toggled off, then the sound off, that image, it is what that image is what is going to appear, and the muted variable will be changed to true, which is muted. Okay, so remember, toggle means to switch, like a switch, go up or down, or switch off or switch off, or switch on, sorry. So what happens when the video is not muted and the video is not playing? Okay, so if the video is not muted and it is not playing, that is as normal as usual. We now have to allow the video to play. Okay, so what we have to do now, if video is not muted and video is paused, okay, which means the video is not played, okay, because I think what is going on here is that some browsers will not allow the video to play automatically. For example, on your mobiles, it will not allow it to play automatically. Okay, and I believe we also did something about it here. Please don't mind that scream outside. Some people are playing. I think we did something about it here. Okay, no, there's nothing. Okay, so let's continue. So we allow the video to play by saying video.play. Okay, but this is not all. We also need to catch some errors in case, because I remember when I was testing the whole application, one video refused to play for whatever reason. I don't know why. So what do? We have to check. We have to allow force the application to report, tell us what is going on. So this is how we do it. .play, then .catch. So catch means if there's any error, then this is kind of, should I say, a polite way of handling errors, so that it won't just spoil the whole experience, or just cut off, should I say, just end the application, or end the program, or end the application, or terminate the application, and we are simply confused, like, oh, what happened? So if there is an error, it will catch the error, then tell us what happened. So this is the error, then, or which this error is a variable, then we get the console, we make it to console.log the play error and the error. The error is this error is the parameter, as it says here, the parameter for, or should I say, the variable where the error will be stored. Okay, so the play error, and then tell us what error exactly is, what error occurred. Now we are done with this one. We are going straight to handle this particular one, loading. Okay, we are done with the button, so this is the last one. So we are going to handle that right away. So still inside this, how do I put it? This create video function. Okay, we are still inside this function. All right. So because we are what we are doing here is simply trying to create this video container. This video container, please. Okay, so we are still inside that function. Okay, now as we have done earlier, we create ask the application or the app to create an element. So say document.create element div, a div element, and we call it, we store it inside this constant that is called loading. Okay, so in case you've forgotten, this is what we are doing, this loading. Okay, we are going to now create add the class name to it, or the class name to it. Okay, now we have this is the class name, the class list dot we are going to do loading dot class list dot add loading. So in case you've forgotten, I'm taking my time to show you all of these things so that it will be clear as much as possible to you. So this is the loading class. Okay, so let me go down immediately. Wait. All right, so the next thing we are going to do is to add this content here, this loading text here. All right, so for that we say loading.text content loading, this string here called this string here loading. All right, now we are done with creating all of these things, but as you can see, they are all floating somewhere in the should I say floating in the air. Okay, but we will have to do something we did earlier, when we are creating the button. So we created this button, then put this span inside of it. So all of these things now, we have created them all, but they are floating around. So we have to then add them into their respective parents elements. Okay, so that is what we are going to do next, still inside this function. Okay, now say container.append child video. So where is the container? Remember, we created a container here. Okay, which is this video container. All right, so now we have added, what we did here is that we put the video inside the video container. All right, so let's do for the others too. So the video title, sound toggle, then loading. So basically we have we have created everything and then put them inside this video container. What do I put this video container parent element? So this is the parent element to all of these. In other words, these are the child element or children element of this video container. So don't get it twisted. All right. So after all said and done, what we have to do now is to return the container. So all of the return container means we have to return this. Where is it? This container, because we are going to work with it. This container here, this one, we have to return it. So what we mean by return is that this function now, what we are going to get from it is this container. Okay, right? Okay, now we are done with this. Okay, let me just save first of all. All right, you see, there is no how do I put it? Nothing is going on. Okay, there is absolutely nothing going on. So let me take this thing off so that it will stop. Okay, so nothing is going on here. I refreshed it. There is nothing going on. Why? Because we have created this function and we are yet to invoke this function. That's to say, we are yet to call this function. So it's just not going to work. So what I have to do now is simply call it, or to invoke it. So let me call it and see what it's going to give us. All right, so let me save, go straight to let's see what we have. So I refresh, still nothing. So let me go to inspect. Let me inspect the element to inspect our page. Go to console. It says uncut reference error, video data is not defined. So yes, because this variable we have, it's just an empty variable. It doesn't exist. So it is looking for this data and it's not seeing it. So for now, we haven't done anything yet. Okay, so let's continue. Excuse me, please. Let me save it. All right. So this is where the DOM manipulation part comes to an end. But we are not yet at the end of the tutorial, okay? Because as you can see, nothing is happening. So coming up next is the part that is called the async await part. All right. This the next series of codes will ensure that our little app will fetch videos from the server, and of course not directly, but through the fetch video API that we created earlier. So let's talk about the async await. So there is nothing scary about it, okay? I promise. So sometimes your website or your application needs to get something from the internet, like maybe fetch some videos or load comments or talk to a server. That kind of stuff takes some time. All right. Now, JavaScript doesn't like to sit and wait for sit and wait around and be doing nothing while it is waiting for that thing to load. It just keeps on going. But sometimes we actually want it to pause and wait, because the next step depends on that thing being done. It is very crucial that the next step, how do I put it? The next step is very crucial. Okay, that is where async and await comes in. Think of async like asynchronous. Yeah, I think there's short for asynchronous. So think of async like saying, hey JavaScript, this function will have to do some waiting. All right, and await means, okay, wait here until this thing is ready before moving to the next step. It's like calling someone and saying, hold on, I need to grab my charger, and the person on the other line actually waits instead of just hanging up. Okay, because some people, they will just simply hang up. So what in this case, he will actually wait instead of just hanging up. So this makes your code much easier to read and way more organized, especially when you are working with stuff like fetching data from the server, which we'll be doing a lot in this application. So don't worry if it sounds a bit new for now. Once you see it in action, it's to make a lot of sense and much easier for you. Okay. So as a reminder, async tells the function, hey, you're gonna wait. Okay, or tells it will wait. Then await tells it what to wait for. So in order to use async, we say async function. All right, async function. So this defines an asynchronous function. All right, so we'll call it load videos. Okay, so this function we just created now is an async function. So it defines an asynchronous function that we'll call load videos. All right, so by adding async, we can use await inside the function. So that will allow us to wait for things like fetching the fetching request to complete. So let's continue. First of all, I'll add this. Okay. Now we have to tell the function what to do. So if it's loading is if it's loading, return. So which means if the application or if the app is already in the process of requesting new videos and loading new videos, then we shouldn't tell it to load more videos, because it will break the app will break, of course. Then the next thing we have to do is to reset this is loading to true. Okay, so is loading should be true. So let's continue. So next we have to create still inside this function we are defining right now. We have to create 3 blocks. What's it called again? Try, catch, and finally block. Okay, so try is where we attempt to fetch the video. That is, we attempt to do something. Then catch is where, if in case something went wrong when we try to do something, or when we try to do that thing, then something went wrong, then that error will be processed in catch. Then finally ensures that whether it works or fails, we will reset our loading state so that we can try again later. Okay, so we'll do that immediately. And by the way, I want to add one thing. Catch is kind of where if something goes wrong, instead of the app to exit or close immediately, because that's basically how JavaScript works, then the app will simply close because there is an error, or to stop. But with catch, it is possible for us to now catch that error and do something like a boss with it, instead of just shutting down the whole thing. So let's do that immediately. Here they are. So this is try, catch, and finally. So this is where we attempt to load the videos from the, where is it again? From the fetch videos PHP API. So to fetch that, to fetch the videos, we, excuse me first, let me do this. Okay, this we make, first of all, create a what's it called, a constant called response. It is called response because when we try to fetch the videos from the fetch videos.php, that is our API, then the data that is supposed to come back will kind of call a response because we are requesting for something. All right, this is the fetch videos.php. Then you add additional data to them, just as we have been doing before, but this time around we see offsets. Then offset and limits. We have already defined them. I've already talked about them earlier, so I won't go over them again. I won't talk about them for now this time around again, because trying to save time. So offsets, this, what you're seeing here right now, is simply a way of mixing variables with strings. And in JavaScript, for that to work, you need to use backticks. Okay, you use only backticks, because if you use the quotes, it's not going to work. Unlike in the PHP, where for you to use this type of thing, then you need double quotes. But in JavaScript, you need backticks. So where do you get backticks on your keyboard? It's simply the button that is below uh, the escape button, and it is now it's also above the tab button. So that's where you get your what's it called, backticks. Okay. Now the offsets and the limits are the should I say the parameters that will be needed. Then the offset is means kind of we have to offset each time we load a video, we offset it by the number of videos we have requested for. Then limit is the number of videos we are going to, the limit of the videos, or the cap of the videos we are going to kind of the highest number of videos we are going to request, we are expecting per request. All right. So next we check for the response to see if the response is okay. If we do that by saying if response is not okay, because this time around we are going to do it, kind of, how do I put it, in the negative, but we're going to do it by the negative. Okay, that's why we say response dot okay. But you see this exclamation mark here, so this is not. So what is here is simply is response not okay. So if response is not okay, maybe because the how do I put it, the network is not good, or for whatever reason the response came back with something, how do I put it, something negative. So we'll now throw a new error. So this error, this is a kind of should I call it browser, kind of browser error API. Okay, so basically what is going on here is not forgetting this string also, network response was not okay. So right here what is going on is we are kind of saying, hey browser, if something goes wrong with the network request, like maybe let's say the server didn't respond with 200 okay status, we want to manually throw an error. Okay, so that is what this line does. All right, so we throw new error, then we say the response was not okay. So it's literally stops everything and sends the error to the catch block. So this time around it's going to send us to the catch block instead of terminating the program entirely. Whatever is after this line will not run or will be ignored, so it will send us straight to this catch block. All right, so it does that so that we can handle it properly. Maybe log it, or show a friendly message to the user, or just to avoid crashing the whole app. All right, so instead of the think of it this way: instead of the code to quietly fail and cause some weird behavior, maybe later, we may we make it yield that something has gone very wrong, so we can deal with it clearly and fast. All right, so that is what this place is doing. So we have to now move straight to the catch error. We'll come back to this one. All right, but I want to do everything serially so that it will be easier for you to understand. So this, if we come to, if it gets to this catch, the catch error, what it simply is going to do, or what we want it to do, is for it to log this error, to show it in the console.log, to kind of say, show this message, error loading videos, then error. Okay. Then you want it to do something else. This is a show error. This is a function, but this is a function that doesn't exist in JavaScript. Therefore, we are going to define it later. Okay, this show error does not exist. So what we'll use this one to do is maybe kind of to show it to display it on the screen, not just on the console, because many people, we the developers, we know, but people who do not know what the console is all about, they will see it will simply fly over their heads. So finally, we move to the finally. Okay, so we simply set its loading to false. So remember what I said about the finally. It says that it's I said earlier that it ensures that whether it fails or it works, it doesn't really matter. we are going to reset our loading state so that we can try again. We can try to load the video again. Okay. Now we have to go back to this show error. Okay, we now have to define show error to to tell JavaScript what show error is going to do. So that's what we are going to do next. All right, so what we do now is to go outside the load videos function. All right, we go outside of it. Then so we create the function. Now we have to define the function. So the first thing we have to do now is to create what's it called, a constant called error div. So this kind of error div. Then what will be stored in it? So it's going to be this thing here, this code here. So it says document.createElement.div. So we are creating an element or a div element, and we are going to store it inside this error div because error div, that should be clear. All right. So we then add the class list, that is to add the styling. Okay, so we are going to use the loading class. Okay, we are going to kind of recycle the loading class for it, so that shouldn't be difficult for you. I forgot to mention this variable here. So this message is kind of the line that we are going to show. The how do I call it? The string we are going to display. Okay, so for example, this one says network response was not okay, or this one says here it is, okay, show error, failed to load video. So this is the message, this is the how do I put it, this is the variable or the string that will be inside this variable. So failed to load videos will be the content of this message. All right, so now the next thing we are going to do is to put that message into this error div, so as the text content. Of course, we've done this one earlier, so it shouldn't be difficult for you to understand what is going on in this this particular line. And the next thing we are going to do now is to add it to the wrapper. All right, so say wrapper dot append child. If you don't do that, it's just going to be floating around. Okay, so after doing all these things, we have to give it a little time or some time for it to disappear. So let's handle that immediately. So we'll say set timeout. Okay, what set timeout is, this is a function in JavaScript that waits for a particular amount of time, which is 3000 here. Here we give it 3000, which is 3 milliseconds or so. No, 3 seconds, please. 3 seconds. Okay, so we give it 3 seconds. Then this error div, which is this particular div that we created, will be removed. So error div dot remove. So this, you're going to use this method to remove it after 3 seconds. So having done this one, we have to go back up to the try block. Okay, so excuse me please, I failed to say something. You see, this one says if response is not okay. Remember, this is not the usual way we write this if block, okay, or the if statement, but this is a correct way also, but a shorter method of doing it. Okay, instead of if, then the curly brackets as we do as we usually do. This time around, you just do it like this. Okay, if there isn't much you want to check for, so you can simply do it like this. It works. Now, what are we going to do if this one returns false? Because if as we put here, not okay, if the response is not okay, then it means that this one is true. So you have to be very conversant with this not and in fact the truth table. I have already talked about it in another video, but you have to be very, very careful and conversant with this. If not, it's going to confuse you a little bit. Okay, so if the response is not okay, then it means true. So what happens if it returns false, i.e. the video was okay, the server sent the video, I mean the response from the server is okay? So what do we do? That's what we are going to talk about next. So I put this this comment here so that we'll remember what is going on. All right, now we create a constant called videos. So inside this videos constant, we are going to store, remember this await. I said that await helps you to kind of wait for the response to arrive. Now that the response has arrived, what do we do with it? We are going to use this JSON method to parse, kind of, because that data is it's coming back as a JSON data. So we have to now use this JSON method to parse it. Kind of means that we are going to convert the JSON data into how do I put it, into the usual JavaScript array that we are all aware of. You know, we all know what JavaScript array looks like. So this is exactly what this JSON we turn this JSON what do I call it again? JSON method we turn that the response into. Okay, so once it is done, then it is stored inside this constant called videos. So after all said and done, we now have to how do I put it? We now have to handle because we have requested the videos. Okay, remember, we have requested for the videos, and once the videos have arrived, we will likely have to request for more videos. And according to how do I put it, in line with what we have learned earlier, especially when I was teaching us about the making the simple this API, we have to update this offset variable, which is, as I put it, up here. Okay, where is it again? Offsets. So we now have to update it. Okay, but before we are going to do any update, we have to first of all check if the server actually sent, or if the server actually sent some videos, or we are getting the videos from the server, or the API actually brought videos from the server. Okay, that is what we have to check first of all before we update any other thing we have to do. So let's do that immediately. So what we are doing here now is, if video, we are checking if the server actually sent videos. So remember now that we have turned everything into a normal JavaScript array. So how do you check if there is an array? The array has contents, or there are contents inside the array. We simply use the array.length. Remember, this video now is an array. Okay, because this JSON, once we pass it, it will convert it to an array. Okay, I would have demonstrated it, but please bear with me. I don't have any time for that. Okay, this video will be massively long, so just trust me. Don't worry, or do your own research. You find out what I'm talking about. So this videos array want to check if there is anything in it. So we do that by saying videos.length. If there is just one thing in it, you see one. If it's two, you see two, three or four or five, as as much as you can, as much content there can be, or there is in that array. This is primary or elementary JavaScript, everyone knows. So what happens if, so we'll do that by saying if it is greater, this sign here, this particular thing here represents greater. So if it is greater than 0, which means there is something in it. Okay, if it is empty, then it will be 0. So what happens when that's once this condition is fulfilled? So we'll say offsets. Okay, that offset I've been talking about. Offsets plus equals videos.length. So this here is simply, we are going to add the number of contents inside this, which is 2, because remember the limit is 2. Okay, so we are setting 2 videos. So in our own case now it is 2. If you use 2 as the limit, if you use 5 as the limit, you get 5. All right, so that 2 will be added to 0 because it is the very first video. Okay, or if it is the very first video, so that 2 will be added to the 0. Then once it is added to it, we'll then assign that number to this offset again. So the content of offset will then become 2. You see, we now update the offset that was 0. It now becomes 2. Remember, limit, nothing happens to limit. It's just 2. Okay, because that is limit. We don't want to exceed that number. So offset becomes updated. So we say if in case you don't know what this thing is all about, it is to add it, then assign it to that number. And now the sum will be assigned to the variable, which is offset. All right, let's continue. Then the next thing we are going to do is to add those videos, the videos we got from or the video data, not videos, because we are not storing the videos inside the database. Okay, so we are getting data. So the video data will, well, let's call it videos anyway. Well, but bear in mind that when I'm talking about the data, not the video itself, because the video is in another folder. If you don't understand, go back to the uploads videos. Okay, the uploads, the video about why I talked about the uploads. Then the reason why you are seeing this, remember video buffer, we have already where is it? We have already yeah, let's video buffer. Okay, this is where we are storing the fetched videos from the data before rendering. Okay, so let's quickly go down there. Where is it? So why do we have these 3 dots here? So remember, we are getting more than one data from more than one datum, because yeah, one, if it is just one, it is datum. More than one or plural is data. So we are getting data, not datum. Okay, so we now have more than 2. So we are now going to push 2 datum or 2 let's say data into this video buffer. So 2, there are 2 in number. So whenever you want to do anything, you want to push anything into an array, if it is just one, there is no need of these 3 dots as usual. But if it is more than one, instead of writing a video buffer array dot push blah blah blah, array dot push blah blah blah, I mean, that's BS, man. So simply do it this way. This is a short way of doing it. It's going to capture all the data and push them inside that array. Okay, so please do not be confused. At least you've learned something new, if in case you didn't know this. Now the next thing, we are now going to render the video. Okay, by calling the render videos function. Unfortunately, once more, render videos is not a JavaScript function. Therefore, we have to define it, and we're going to do that right away. So please, if you saw this load videos, please ignore it. Okay, we're not going to call it now. I just wanted to, something came into my mind and I was like, okay, let me talk about it. I was like, no, let's continue. Okay, so just ignore this. Okay, ignore it. Don't worry about it. Let me remove it, in fact. So here we are going to define what this render videos, or what this function called render videos is all about. Okay, so excuse me, please. So what am I doing? Oh, come on, excuse me, something has gone wrong. All right, okay, please don't worry. Nothing really went wrong. So what we have to do now is to go to, first of all, video buffer array. Okay, so we are going to loop through remember the video buffer here. We are going to loop through it. Okay, we're going to loop through the content of this video buffer array. So say video buffer for each. Okay, so for each content of video buffer array, we create for each video buffer array, we create a data called video data. Okay, I am sure you are well aware of what this, because we've seen it before. Okay, this video data. So for each video, remember the data, the content inside the buffer, video buffer, is video data. So we go through the video buffer array, and for each video data inside it, what do we do? Okay, we're going to do that right now. We create a constant called container, and what will container be all about? So inside that container, we'll have this code called this function, create video container video data, where we have already defined this one, this create video container. Where is it? In case you have forgotten, This is it. So we are calling this function again. Okay. So all of these things we are doing here, all of these things, after creating all of these things, the video is empty. The whole thing is still empty. That is why if you try to put it now on your, in fact, this is what I wanted to talk about. So if you try to test it on your browser, you're just going to get an empty page because we don't have any video yet. We don't have any video data. Okay. Now we are getting the video data. So we create the video container with the video data and store it inside this constant called container. Okay. Now we append it to the wrapper. Okay. You know what the wrapper is all about. It's not the musician, all right? I'm not talking about musicians or the artists. So we're talking about the wrapper we created earlier. All right. So we save. Now we are going to test it. We are going to finally test it. Okay. So we'll go to this no, sorry. Yeah, load videos, please. Okay. Okay. Now we are going to call this function to see if it is working. All right. Yeah. Okay. Let's do it here. Okay. Load videos. Now let me save it. Okay. Now let me go and test it. All right. You see, it's there already. As you can see, we are missing something. Okay. Yeah, I know why we are missing something. The thing here, it is the what is it called? So please, we'll talk about that one later. The logo and all the other thing. We did that in the other video. So the exact thing we did there, you can do it here too. Okay. But I will do it on my own, but I'm not going to show it. So we now have this thing. Our app is already showing something. Okay. But as you can see, we only have 2 videos. Okay. And we have this loading screen. We want to get rid of it. Okay. We have to, and that is what we are going to do next. So let's move on, please. So let me comment this one out first of all. Then we go back to the render videos. After we have rendered it, after we have done all of this, the next thing we have to do now is to clear the video buffer. So the video buffer will go back to 0. Okay, so that's what we are doing here. So it's just going to be an empty list, because if we do not clear it, then it means that when we load when we make another request, then these videos that we have already loaded will be loaded, they will be displayed again. Okay, so which means videos will be displayed 2 or 3 or more times, but we want the video to be displayed just once. Okay, or according to how we uploaded it on the server. We don't want any multiple videos. So if for example you uploaded a video twice into the database, then that video will appear only twice, not 3 or 4 or 10 times. So that is why we are going to clear the video buffer. All right. Okay. Now we are going to handle the playback of the video. But before then, there is something important that we have to do. We have to talk about the observer, setup observer. Okay. Because right now, as you can see, there is something we want to make sure. As you can see, both videos are playing. Okay, I'm just holding it like this. Okay, the 2 videos are playing right now, but we don't want that to happen. We want only one video to play. So which means, well, what's going on is that the video that are not visible, they are still playing. But what we want to happen, what we want to do is that only the videos that you are seeing they are just the only ones that can be played. If the video is not being seen, it cannot play. Okay, so we are going to handle that. Okay, so we are going to do what is called setup, and we're going to do how do I put it, setup an observation function that we be watching, so that it will make sure that only videos that are visible to the user can be played. The ones that are not visible cannot be played. Why? Imagine there are 10, let's say 100 videos and all of them are playing at once, it's going to mess up the whole thing. Okay, so we don't want that to happen. So let's quickly go back to our code. So what we have to do now is to make to call this function called setup intersection observer. So our setup intersection observer also doesn't exist, so we have to handle that immediately. Okay, but before then I have to talk more about this setup intersection observer because it is something new, but don't worry. Okay, so the function automatically plays and pauses videos as they enter or leave the viewport. Okay, that is the visible area on the screen. I will show you an animation, a simple animation of what is going on. Okay, as you can see on the screen, it uses the intersection observer API to detect when a video is visible. This line, it enables the autoplay and pause functionality. So as you're scrolling, so it tells the browser, watch these videos, watch these new videos, play them when they appear, pause them when they are out of view. Okay, so that is simply what this intersection observer does. So it is, first of all, the intersection observer API, it is built into the browser. So we are going to take advantage of that. So now here is the function. So let's now define what this function does. We first of all create this constant called observer. Okay, so we are going to say new observer. All right, not new observer, please. New intersection observer. All right. So inside that function, inside that method, we have to create a variable called entries. Okay. What are entries? Entries are simply these. This, for example, this video now. This particular video is an entry. This is also an entry. Okay. So entries. Then we access this. Okay. So we are going to go. We are going to go through each of these entries and process the observed elements. So we say entries dot for each. All right. So for each entry, so these entries for each entry inside entries. Okay. So we are going to create a constant and we'll call that constant video. So inside the constant, we'll say entry.target.query selector video. What is going on here? As I said earlier, this is an entry, this is an entry. So we are now targeting this video or any other video that might pop up. Okay, so that is what this one does. So we are going to select for each of those entries, which is an array, by the way. So for each of them, each of the entry, we are going to target the video elements. Okay, now let me demonstrate. Let me go back here again. So let's visualize this as an entry. Okay, so we are now going to target this element. Where is it? This particular element here. Okay, this video with all of this what is it called again? With all of this data parameters. Voila, that was what I was looking for. With all the parameters. Okay, so this is what this particular code is all about. So we are going to target each video or each video element. So we are now going to check if that particular video is intersecting, i.e., if it is how do I put it? If it is visible. Okay, now let me demonstrate this. This is now visible. but this other one under is not visible when this one is visible. Okay, so we now want to check if this, let's say for example, the other video, as we scroll down, you see it is now visible. So we want to check if this one is visible. So as I said earlier, we want to only play the videos that are visible. We don't want both videos to be playing. That to be wrong. All right, don't want that to happen. So that is the thing we are going to check. Please do not forget. So if it is visible, we'll then say video dot play. Okay, so now we are going to play the video if it is visible. All right, so apart from that, we're also going to do, then we'll say else. That is, if it is not in view, if the target is not intersecting, that is to say, if we are not seeing it. Okay, if we are not seeing it, then we simply say video should be paused. So by saying video dot pause, so we'll pause the video. All right, so the next thing we are going to handle now is the threshold. Okay, what do I mean by threshold? That is the percentage of the visibility before it begins to play. Okay, because we don't want it to start playing only when it is now completely visible, but we want to start like 70%. Okay, like 70% visibility, you start to play the video. So in order to do that, remember, this is what do I call it, this is an object. So in order to supply the order, is it callback or something, then you go over here, you click here, click this, click, how do I put it, go to the new intersection observer line, then that opening bracket, you click it, then it will show you where you put the other information that you need to put in. Simply put a comma. Oh, sorry. Click here, please. Here. So first of all, you click here so that it will show you where this thing ends, so you don't misplace the comma, because if you do that, it's going to give you an error. So you click, put the comma here. See, now you can put whatever thing you want to put here. Now we can put the threshold. Okay, so you put curly brackets, then threshold. All right, threshold is 0.7, so which is 70%. All right, okay, now let's move forward. Sorry, take this thing off, okay, please. There is no need of that. Sometimes I forget it is JavaScript I'm dealing with, because in PHP, oh my god. Instead, you put it here. All right, now let's save. Oh wait, we are not yet done. Then you press enter to go under under this one. Okay, what we are now going to do is to to use the wrapper to, how do I put it, what am I even saying? We are going to now kind of check to command JavaScript or the browser to check, yes, to command JavaScript to now begin doing the checking and playing the videos that is supposed to play, and not playing the ones, and pausing the ones that are supposed to be paused. So we say wrapper dot query selector. Okay, query selector all, please. Query selector all. Excuse me, please. My laptop charger, my laptop that doesn't want to charge, suddenly started charging. Excuse me. Okay, let's continue. So what are we trying to select? We are going to select all the video containers. Okay, so we are going to select, we are going to observe all the video container, like this one now. Okay, this particular div now, we are going to check all of them. So video container. Okay, all the divs with the class name of video container. Then for each of them, for each of the container, okay, sorry, container, this is why I hate typing. We then for each container, then we loop through all of them Okay, we are now going to do observer.observe container. Okay, so we are now going to observe each container and make sure that once it is intersecting, i.e. it is visible, then we can play them. If it is not visible, then we are not going to play them. Prevent our mobile, especially our mobile devices, from running mad. Okay, so let me save it and check if it is working. Okay, I refresh. All right, it is now working correctly. You see, before this loading thing was here, but now the loading thing is gone. So let me see. You see, right now the lower video is playing, but the one at the top, that is the man and his daughter, that video isn't playing. All right, so this is what this whole brouhaha was all about. But we are not yet done, okay? Because we only have 2 videos. So even if I refresh, it's not going to do anything. So we are going to do we are now going to set up a function that will handle the scroll events, okay? Because as it is now, even if I keep on scrolling, nothing happens, okay? But I'm supposed to load more videos once I get to this extent, okay? Once this scroll bar gets to this extent, it's supposed to load more videos. So to do that, we need 3 things, and the 3 things are client height, scroll top, and scroll height. Okay, so client height is this is the height of the visible area of the container, aka the area you can actually see. Okay, then you have the second one is the scroll top. This one now is it tells us how much the user has scrolled down. So let's imagine that the area we can see or that is visible to us is 600 pixel. Okay, now the scroll top, let's say we have gone to the middle. Okay, if the user has scrolled down to the let's say halfway, then it will be something like 300. If the person has not scrolled, the user has not scrolled at all, let's say here we have not scrolled at all, then the scroll top will be 0. Now the scroll height, this is the total height of the content, both visible and invisible, and and invisible. For example, this video now that is playing plus this one or any other one that may be under it, depending. So that is the scroll height. So I mean, even the parts that have not been scrolled to yet, if we then put all of them, like it will down, let's say, amount to 1,200 pixels. I'm just giving an example, okay? It depends on the amount of things and the heights. So this is just an example. Remember, I gave us an example of 600 in the beginning. So that's just that. Okay, so why do we use them together? If the user has scrolled near the bottom, okay, like 1.5 times the visible height from the end, then we have to tell JavaScript to go ahead and load more video. So this will make our app to feel smooth, like it's always ready to serve more content before the user hits the bottom. Just as it is done in TikTok and Instagram Reels. So I have talked enough already. Let's go and do it right away. So we are going to do it outside. Remember, outside is a function of its own. Okay. So now we are creating another function. So that's why I said I typed it here. Function to handle scroll events and infinite loading. So here is the function. All right, so we are going to take the wrapper. The wrapper is all of these things. Okay, remember all of this. Let me go up there to show you. Remember, this is the main, this is the ID, the main this is the main div with the ID of video wrapper. So it is inside that we are scrolling. It is inside that we are scrolling. All of these things are inside it. So what we have to do now is to take that wrapper, this wrapper now, and which is this one, and add an event listener. And what events are we listening for? we will be listening for the scroll event. So what happens when we scroll? So when we scroll, this function should be run. Okay. Excuse me, I made a mistake. So here is the mistake. Okay. So we have to create we have to create a constant, three constants, basically variables that whose contents do not change. So as I said earlier, I mentioned scroll height, scroll top, and client height. I have already explained what these things are. Okay. So let me now assign them their values. So I have assigned to each constant its value. So I also commented it here. So this is scrollable height, total scrollable height, current scroll position, then the visible height. All right. So what do we do with these things now? So sorry. So we now have to check if the scrolling, when we are scrolling, we are now near the bottom of the page, so that we can, ask the tell JavaScript to ask the browser to, or we can ask JavaScript to load more videos. So we'll do that by saying if, okay, then if scroll height minus scroll top, okay, is less than or equal to client height multiplied by 1.5 and is not loading. So that is, it is not in the process of loading more videos. So this is a condition that must be met. So this one now is and, so it means that these two conditions must be true. So if it gets to this particular height, that scroll height this particular point, that scroll height minus scroll top is less than or equal to client height, then multiplied by 1.5 and is not loading. That is the no loading is going on. So that is when this function will be called. And what function is that? It's simply the load videos function. Where is it? Okay, look at it here. The load videos function. Okay, so where is it? Okay, the load videos function. So let me just copy this, then put it here. Where am I? Okay, so after calling the load videos function, now we have to test it to see if this setup scroll listener is actually working, and to see if it will load new videos. So simply copy this function. So excuse me, please. Copy this function, go down there, paste it, then let me save it. Now I go straight to the browser. Let's see. All right, so let me scroll now and see if it is working. Yes, as you can see, the scroll bar here became smaller. Now I scroll again. You see, we are now loading different videos. All right, so we now have different videos. Don't worry about this one because this one I actually uploaded it twice to prove that. You see the title, Nice Family. Then if I go up, it says test video. So these are two different video files, though the videos are both videos are the same. So basically, we now have this what I put it, the setup what's the name again? Setup scroll listener is now working. So after then, we also have to do some kind of how do I put it now? Because here we already have the observer that will play the video, but we need another function that will handle the video playback. Kind of, how do I a second observer that will handle the video playback. Okay, so in fact we'll call it video playback or something of that nature. Wait, let me think about what I will call that function. Okay, I'll call it handle video playback. All right, so just go under the if statement. So you can type this function. So now there is no handle video playback function in JavaScript, so we have to define it just as we did for the other. So you go outside the setup scroller function to define that. Okay, so here is the function. I don't want to do it line by line as I did it earlier because I really need to end this video already. So function handle video playback, here is the definition. So in that, what the function does is to go through the wrapper, then select all the video container, all the, how do I put it, the divs with the class name of video container, and store them inside this constant called containers. Then after that, we'll have to JavaScript will now have to loop or go through each of those container. Okay, it will process each of the container. And what is it doing in each container? By this time, I don't think I will have to explain it to you again. That there is this div called, there is this video element in each container. Select each container, then put it inside this select each video element and store it inside this constant called video. Now, this is where you have to pay attention. This thing called get bounding client rect. So each item in the browser has this method attached to it, or that acts with it. I don't know exactly how they call it. So what this get clients bounding rect does is to get the position information and store it inside this container. Inside this constant called rect. What is get bounding client rect method? It sounds a little bit scary, but it is actually really straightforward. Okay, so let's see what this W3 Schools has to say about it. W3 Fools. So what does it say? The description is the get bounding client rect method returns the size of an element and its position relative to the viewport. So the method returns a DOM rect object with 8 properties: left, top, right, bottom, x, y, width, and height. Because of time, I would have demonstrated it, or you can simply go under here, then you type here console.log rect. Okay, you will see a lot of things there. Now, after getting that, or first of all, I have to there's a few other things I missed. Apart from reading that, I have to explain a little bit also. So we should think of it this way, kind of saying, hey browser, tell me where this box is and how big it is, because relative to the viewport, that is the visible part of the screen. Here is why this thing is useful. This method is useful in our project. We are using it to figure out if a video is mostly visible on the screen. We have done something like this earlier. Okay, in the setup setup intersection observer, something we've done it here already, but this one we are doing it in a little different manner. I will explain to you why we need both. We do not want all the videos to be playing at once. We only want one video, and especially that video must be the video the user is actually seeing. So we get bounding client rect for each video container, and then check, is the top of this box somewhere inside the screen? Is the bottom not too far off? Then if both return true, then we will play the video. If not, we will pause the video. Okay, so it's like having a visibility check before deciding whether a video should start playing or remain paused. Almost the same thing we have done earlier. Just as we did here, we said threshold 0.7. So we waited until the video, 70% of the video appears, then we'll start playing it. This is basically what we are now doing using these constants that we called, or that I called, is visible. So rect.top should either be greater or equal to negative rect.height. Rect is here, so this is the position and the height, the position and the dimension of the elements. So rect.height, we are looking for the height property, divided by 2, and rect.bottom should be less than or equal to window dot inner height. Inner height is the viewable, or the viewport. Okay, the viewport here. So this is the viewport. Then plus rect.height divided by 2. So these two conditions must return true, and we store it here inside this constant called is visible. Now we are going to use that is visible constant using the if statement. If is visible returns true, both of these returns true, then we will play the video. If the video cannot play, then we'll catch the error and log, and you know what, I mean, you know what it's all about. I put it here, plays if visible. Else, which means that these conditions do not return true, aka it is how do I put it? You know, it is not yet it's not visible enough. For example, as you can see on your screen, I am holding the mouse. Okay, as you can see, the scroll bar, it is dark gray. So once I leave it, it goes up. Okay, now I'm holding it. 2 of the videos are not even playing now. All right, though I haven't saved it anyway, still the other one that is working. Okay, now let me save it and go over there and test it. Let me, okay, now I scroll. You see, all right, so the question now is, why do we need both of them? You see, they do the same thing but slightly in different ways. The intersection observer watches the screen and reacts whenever videos enter or leave the viewport. Okay, this one is perfect for when new videos, okay, when new videos are added through scrolling, while the other one, the later one, the handle video playback, that one is manually triggered. So it's as we scroll, it is triggered, so it is acting as a backup check for the first one. We actually need the second one to add the second one, because sometimes the first one can, so how do I put it, some videos will slip through the tracks. Did I say that well? Yes. Sorry, the cracks. They will slip through the cracks. Okay. So, for example, when you are, let me say, you're kind of scrolling very fast, so you do not have the time to, to catch up, observe that video correctly. So then that is where the handle video playback comes in and makes sure that everything is in order. So this is very important because it helps in making the experience super smooth. All right. So let me just scroll down. All right, you see the last video kind of has a problem. Now I go to inspect, go to console. You see it says play error, not supported error. So now let me try it again. This is the first video. Now let me go down. Let me continue going down. Scroll. Okay, now I got, because I only loaded 9 videos. Okay, I only uploaded 9 videos to the server. So here it says play error failed, and it says no support source was found. So this is the kind of error that's, errors like this. Then the other error is 404 not found. So I believe it's because no more videos are available. So it will return empty. So which is 404 not error 404 not found. Or, well, I don't know exactly. No, that is not what I think that is wrong. But anyway, this is the last video, yeah, because this video has a problem. So I don't know exactly what what changed. But anyway, no problem. I think I know. I think I know where the problem is. I think I know where the problem is, but that will be a story for another day. Okay, let's end this video already, please, please, please. So, okay, guys. Now we are going to do the last thing. We have finished everything, okay, but we'll make sure that the app loads correctly, so that we are saying that I want to say that we should make sure that everything is loaded, or all the codes are loaded correctly before any of them are run. Okay, so to do that, we say with this, I'm sure you should already know what this one is. So say documents, documents, content loaded, right? Documents dot add event listener. Then what event are we listening for? DOM, DOM content loaded. So DOM content loaded to make sure that everything is loaded correctly. Okay. Sorry, this DOM content loaded should be a string. All right. So go over here, comma. Then here is what is going to take place. Okay. Now the next thing we have to do is to cut these two functions. Sorry, cut it out of there. Then paste it here. Paste them here. All right. Now we'll save. Let's see if it's actually working. So I refresh. I scroll. Yeah, it's working correctly. Okay. If you like the video, please, I implore you to like the video, make some comments, share the video to 10 people, just 10 people only. Okay. If you're new here, please subscribe. Thank you so much for spending hours of your time with me. Thank you so much. I really, 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 really appreciate it. Thank you so much. Goodbye, guys.